You might think it funny, you might think it strange, but she's the queen of the USA. 'Cause she's the queen of the USA.
How's it going? Hopefully all is well with you and yours. It is a beautiful day here at the meeting place of heaven and earth, and I am glad that you are here with me. Please say hi in the live chat and let me know how you are, how things are where you are at. I wanted to read this comment on Facebook that I found earlier. I live in Texas and it has been no water and spotty electricity outages, power not being on longer than 30 minutes or intervals of 3 to 5 minutes, then off again. I run a farm, so collected water before it completely stopped into my garden tub, and that has been what I have been using, a pitcherful at a time, to make sure that my animals drink. It has never snowed like this in West Texas, and never has statewide there been a blizzard like this. They are calling it historic. Luckily, we have a fireplace because it has been getting very cold even in the home. As I am typing this, power went out again, hoping it comes on again for a few minutes to post this comment. This feels very planned. Been thinking about this all day. Texas is a big state of commerce. Shut it down, mess with the economy a little. You catching on? So that is really interesting that they are having a dark winter in Texas. Those of you who have been watching my channel for any amount of time know that I keep warning people to get a gas generator and a way to keep the power on, to keep warm, to keep yourself entertained in case they shut off the power. I was just thinking this morning of what I'm going to do about my videos and connecting with all of you when there are power outages, if they shut the whole city down, if they cut the internet. No matter what they do, I need to have a plan, so I'm going to have to think a little bit more about that. But I hope that you are taking steps to prepare for things like this. One of the scenarios that I just thought of this morning, there are many different timelines that can be taken. Depending on the actions that you take, the choices that you make, you can take a different timeline, right? So the powers that be can do the same as well. There are different timelines that they can take to get to their new world order while we are trying to get to the golden age. One of the things that I thought of this morning was that I heard a rumor about Texas trying to break off from the rest of the United States, which is ultimately going to be a controlled opposition distraction from the state of Jefferson here at the meeting place of heaven and earth. But one of the things that they could potentially do is have this whole political puppet show of Texas trying to rebel against the United States, who has Biden, and perhaps Texas electing Trump as their leader, and the New World Order Trump card coming back for this big patriotic revival and going against the rest of the United States that are siding with Biden or whatever. So that's one thing that they could potentially do. And obviously they have been planning famine for a long time as well, with droughts and flooding, and using chemtrails. The places around here, pumpkin patches, for instance, that have been in business for years and years and years, had poor crop harvests this season because of all of these issues. Even I tried to grow some corn and that really didn't work. I'm not really even sure. This is my first year, so I'm not feeling too discouraged. I know that there are other things going on as well. They want to make it so that we can't be self-sufficient, can't grow our own things. My potatoes on the top of the ground, they looked great. I didn't dig them up. I kept them under the soil, so I don't actually know how it went, but I'm just going to leave them growing so that they are protected. They're more protected there than they are outside of the ground. So there's that. But on a worldwide level, other farmers that are producing mass crops are having issues growing their things. Farms are being shut down, which from a vegan standpoint, I am really excited about the slavery ending. But what is just being left in, as far as that goes, is the commercial, these big productions, CAFOs, that treat the animals really, really horribly. So choosing to continue to eat meat is going to be even worse on your karma, because where it's coming from is not some, small scale where the animals are allowed to at least walk around in a yard, and get fed. But these new shutting down all the small farms is going to force people to only be able to buy from those big productions, and it's going to cost you more karma, and it should. If those animals never see the light of day, it's like, humans using their freedom to enslave other beings is evil, and I think that if we choose to enslave other sentient beings, then humans don't deserve to be free. It's karmic that the other species farm us because we're farming other species. If we stop doing that, then we stop karmically consenting to be farmed. So, I don't consent to being farmed. I don't consent to anything that happens to those animals happening to me. To get that milk that people are consuming when you go and get a cheeseburger, you are stealing from a mother who was raped pregnant. It's not that she produces milk because she's a cow. She produces milk because she's a mom. She had a baby, and she was separated from that baby so that you could have the milk. If the baby was a boy, it was probably just killed off immediately because they don't keep them around. If it was a girl, whenever she's old enough to start getting pregnant, they will start raping her and continuing the cycle of abuse. There's some squirrels crawling down my house right now. I've heard them actually run around the outside of my house. It's quite ridiculous, but anyways, what was... The farmers of humanity are getting ready to cull the herd, and I've been saying that there are many different techniques that they will use to do that, creating a winter storm in Texas and in this really Republican free type state, and having them crush down the most so that they will do the most outrageous things. They can start to control that whole movement, and then get Trump in there, their New World Order Trump card, and then control the civil war that sparks from all of this. And that's just one way that they can go and distract humans from the real war that is going on here at the meeting place of heaven and earth. If you look inside your soul, you will know that we have been through this before. And the meeting place of heaven and earth, the root chakra, is where the real battle is between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. They don't want us to focus here. They want us to focus anywhere else, Texas or Israel or anywhere else besides right here where it actually is having battle, right? The root of the tree is going to affect the whole condition of the rest of the tree, and this is the root chakra of Mother Earth. If it is a pure place, then the rest of Mother Earth, it'll be emanating this pureness all over and affecting the whole tree that is Mother Earth. So that is why we come to the root. We get to the root of the problem, and this is where we take back control of Mother Earth. I'm really looking forward to the golden age and all of the exciting things that we will create together here under the dome, creating a better world for us and our future generations. But first, we have to survive through these coming dark trials. So, again, getting emergency food, emergency water supplies, and guns and ammo, making sure that these things can't be taken from you. I know I keep saying a lot of these things, but this is really important, that you make sure that your stockpiles are somewhere that can't be confiscated, because they already have anti-hoarding laws on the books. They have promoted red flag laws already to come and take guns from people, and they know who is the problems. Those of us who haven't been wearing masks, who haven't been staying at home, haven't been social distancing, they already know who the problem children are, okay? There's no anonymity in this whole game that we play. I mean, we're being watched by entities that are not only invisible and in this realm with us, but also entities that are outside of this realm. So they know who we are, they know who you are. There's no use putting a mask on and trying to hide your face, and yeah. But they know who we are, and they plan to take us out in various different ways. So hiding your stockpiles so that they can't come in and end up with you trying to fight over them or them getting taken from you. You can just live to see another day and avoid that, right? Having extra supplies buried, but also having a gas generator and gas, or a way to keep your electricity on and keep you warm and keep you sane. Please don't let the dark forces drive you to suicide and depression. No matter how dark things get, keep holding on to hope, because that is the light at the end of the tunnel. It is very powerful, and with hope, your will to live will be even stronger. You have something to fight for. I always encourage people to stop consuming fluoride, and once you do, you will start to remember and reconnect with your true self, your soul, and remember why you came here, so that you have reasons to keep fighting. You have will to live and the strength to carry on with the right willpower. With enough willpower, you can accomplish anything. Any timeline is possible under the dome here. This reality is very changeable, and those of us who are using our willpower to manifest the golden age are going to continue to use our will against theirs, and we will see whose will wins on top. I have a track record for winning, so that's pretty exciting to know. My enemies usually don't even show up to battle, so that's pretty good. But yes, planning to survive what is coming. We already are seeing proof, evidence of this happening in Texas, and freak storms all over Mother Earth for the past few years. Things getting worse, more earthquakes and so-called natural disasters. Well, one of the things is when you're drilling oil, taking oil from the mother, which is actually her blood. Oil is Mother Earth's blood, and it is replenishable, but if you take large enough amounts, if you take enough of her blood, she will die too. But drilling for oil, taking it, is like poking her all over and then sucking out her blood. And if you do it enough, she might start to try to shake you off and get you to stop doing that. So that's one of the ways that they actually cause these issues. And what just popped into my head was actually some information, ancient wisdom that was revealed to me before, that the land that we are living on, I'm pretty sure in the Bible it talks about how the land was called up out of the waters. Well, the land is floating on the waters, right? Like giant islands, if you will. And what is keeping that land above the water is this network, this honeycomb of explosive gases. And to sink islands like the lost continent of Mu or Atlantis, you can just can just light this on fire and explode the explosive gases and sink the land. So that is a pretty cool little tidbit of information. Not really something that people, the truth isn't really like something that makes people feel so comfortable. It's like, well, first of all, we live under a dome, and if the sky falls, we're probably not going to survive it. So that's kind of scary. We're in this enclosed realm in a way, and in a way it's scary. And on land that could explode and sink at any time. It's like, how safe are we? No. Well, we're even less safe with all of the degeneracy running around, because while Yah does allow free will under the dome, once things get so corrupt, then, well, he sends floods and destroys things. And from my point of view, I think that if he created it, he is the one that has full right to destroy it, and especially if it is full of evil. If what you created is in this realm and you're watching it and it's doing all sorts of evil, you're seeing degeneracy, you're seeing males trying to dress up as females, and you're seeing all of this just disgusting stuff that Yah didn't want for his creation, right? In his, intent for his creation wasn't for us to become clowns, degenerate inverted clowns. For those people that are watching that are degenerate inverted clowns, Yah did not want you to be that. Your soul does not want you to be that. What he wanted for us was to become the best that we could be. Put yourself in the position of the creator and putting pride in something that you created that was so amazing. Like, the human body is really awesome. We have all these little highways, if you will, of blood going to and from all the different spots, and it's just really awesome. I'm really into anatomy and physiology and the study of the human biology. But having pride in this beautiful creation that you made, and then seeing it be in a world and choose to become more and more corrupt, choose to be clowns. It is not something that he is proud of, and definitely not what his intent is. So I definitely encourage people that watch my show, people that follow me on Facebook and Instagram, wherever I talk to people, I'm always telling them to purify themselves, to become better, to stop being clowns, and become something that their soul can actually be proud of. There are a lot of deceivers in the truther community, those that have been down the rabbit hole far enough are aware that our world is run by inverted deceivers, males pretending to be females and females pretending to be males. When a soul decides to take part into this great deception, to be deceivers themselves, they become flesh puppets of Satan, and he can literally use them as puppets to do his bidding, do his will. And they are everywhere. Obviously, they are controlling, or trying to control, the awakening, and they have been placed all throughout the truther community to gatekeep, especially in key positions. And I already mentioned some of this before in my video, Steer Clear of Patrick Steer. If you haven't seen that, I will leave a link below. I mention Patrick as one of the shills and show some pictures of others, but they are certainly not the only ones in the shill network. Those that make transvestigation videos, for one, and are constantly ragging on inverted ones, those are people that are suspicious, and it doesn't matter how many people's eyes have been opened from their videos, doesn't matter how good their videos are, they are still deceptive puppets of Satan, and they shouldn't be trusted, they shouldn't be promoted. And ultimately, if you follow them, if you keep going back to them, you are forming a bond with them, and they're ultimately deceivers. They're deceiving you about what and who they truly are at a fundamental level. And this is one of the reasons why I lead with my hips. Hips don't lie. Doesn't matter how many other so-called masculine features that a female has. If she has these flaring hips that I do, then she is a female. I have said many times before, I am thankful that I have an athletic build. I came here for war, and a little fragile girl who talks like this is not going to form an army, okay? Like, I wouldn't even want to talk because my own voice would just really annoy me. So I'm thankful for my outward appearance, and I am getting in shape more for war. I do push-ups on my knuckles every day, and I am purifying my diet. I've only had apples today. I think I've eaten 3 or 4 apples today, but that is it, so I'm doing pretty good. I did end up buying some cucumbers. I really like cucumbers. I also had some carrots left over, so I need to get rid of those before they go bad. So I will have some of those for dinner, but I am at least giving my best efforts to be pure on the weekdays, and then maybe be a little bit more naughty on the weekends with my diet. But I ultimately know that the choices that I am making are either going to help me get to the golden age or keep me from it. And being as pure and healthy, becoming the best version of myself that I can be, is the one that is going to get me to the golden age. So that is what I need to do, obviously. But anyways, I've shown you my hips. I am more than proud to say that I am a real girl, and those people that falsely accuse me, you will notice that they hide their own biomarkers, they hide their face, they hide their hips. They are inverted deceivers, or they're just trolls. So it's like, whatever. Anyone who is not being a deceiver, anyone who has followed me has seen my hips many times, not just in a picture, but actually like in a bathing suit, or even in my naked pictures with the waterfall moving around, and you can actually see that it is my hip bones moving in the shot. So anyone who is claiming that I hide my hips is definitely lying, and I hope that God forgives them for lying about me, and hopefully, well, I don't know. I was going to say hopefully God helps me forgive them, but I tend to hold a grudge, so it's not really a good thing to get on my bad side. Obviously, I am trying to get better at being more forgiving and understanding of people, especially those that are asleep and are completely clueless about our reality. Like, you might think that I'm crazy or whatever, but you think that you live on a giant spinning ball and evolved from pond scum. Like, you are completely asleep, deceived about your reality. So I forgive you for lying about me, and I pity you because you're not awake. But someday, when you lay off the fluoride and you purify yourself, maybe you will come to the realization that I have been telling you the truth, and that I am fighting for a better world where the innocents are protected. Other transvestigators hide their bodies, they hide their face, they just only, well, there's a lot of YouTube truthers like this as well. They never show you their face, they only show you pictures or other video footage on the screen so you don't even know what they look like. The same thing with Q and Anonymous, and how can you trust someone when you don't even know what they look like? You can't look into their eyes, the windows to their soul. You can't look at their biomarkers. You can't see if they have female hips like me. But that is one of the many reasons that I have a hard time following anyone, subscribing to anyone's videos. I mainly just watch my own videos and find other sources of entertainment, but it's not like I am continuously going back to one source of person for the truth. I just would rather find things on my own, and I've been like this ever since I woke up to Flat Earth. I never got too attached to the entities that were telling me the truth. I actually didn't even know that Mark Sargent made the video that woke me up until a year or so later. It was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, okay, I never got into watching Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes or any of the other Globe Buster shill shows or anything like that. So it's like seeing these entities for what they are, the deceivers that they are, is really easy for me because they don't have any magical spell over me. They didn't wake me up to anything. They didn't change my life in any way. But for some people, those that do wake them up to Flat Earth and transvestigations, they keep coming back for more information, and they form a bond, a relationship with that person, and that person, well, if they're an inverted deceiver, they have a black spell over them. And the more the person keeps coming back for more, the stronger the spell is going to be, the harder it's going to be for them to see the truth of the situation. One of the popular transvestigators is actually this Michelle XY, and they only recently popped onto my radar. I'm not really into going and finding transvestigation videos. Like, I already know that all of these celebs are inverted, and just looking at their pictures, it's like I can clearly see that that is what it is, and I know how to look for myself. So I don't find a need to go and watch every video transvestigating every celebrity. It's like, that's just a waste of my time personally. But anyways, this Michelle person has been famous apparently in the community. I only recently found out about them since I've been back on Facebook, which has only been a few months. Someone in my transvestigation video said something like Mr. E and Michelle, and I know who Mr. E is, and that is Mr. E is one of the jokes that the inverted like to use. Patrick Steer is also one that likes to use this Mr. E tagline. But anyways, I knew who Mr. E was, but I didn't know who Michelle was, so I asked who's Michelle. They said Michelle XYZ or something. So I went on YouTube, found Michelle XYZ, and I'm like, well, none of these videos show what they actually look like. So that alone is a red flag to me. If you're not going to show your face, I don't trust you. Like, that's just a bottom line for me. And why are you hiding? Apparently they supposedly work with transsexual celebrities, and to even be in that sort of position of power or closeness to these inverted ones, you are not going to find real humans in that position. You're going to find other flesh puppets of Satan. So there are many different red flags that I am seeing with this character. Like, I don't even know them. I don't care who they are or where they came from, in that it's not going to change whether they are male or female, whether they are a deceiver or not. It does show evidence that they are working closely with these other inverted deceivers, that they might be on the side of Satan. And the biomarkers that I've seen in this video, the voice, the way that they're talking, it just reads male to me. So that is where I am at with this interesting character here. And I would definitely encourage everyone to be cautious and know who you are listening to, know who you are allowing to teach you, because ultimately, even if these inverted deceivers tell you lots and lots of truths, at the end of the day, they are there corrupting you, and they're deceiving you at a core level. Why do you want to sit there and form a bond with someone who is lying to you about something as fundamental as what sex they are? That is not something that I am interested in. I don't watch any of their shill shows, and I just expose them. I think that is what we are supposed to do, expose works of evil. And when we find that we in our own lives are doing things that are evil, like eating animals, then we take the steps necessary to stop doing that. I personally always tell people to go from non-vegan to vegan, and then after that, once they're vegan for a while and they start to actually care about their health more, they can start to be raw vegan. Unless you want to skip all the way to raw vegan, more power to you. That's really impressive. But we need to do things in our own lives to avoid all of the clownery, the evil things that the society has programmed into us and tried to persuade us to be like, so that we can be the best versions of ourselves possible. And through doing that, we affect those around us and we change the world. Before I go, I wanted to mention that this Friday night from 8 till late, I will be here for a date with you. So I hope that you will be there Friday, 8 p.m. PST. You'll have to remember because YouTube probably won't tell you. But I hope to see you there, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. May God and the Goddess bless you.
Friday night, the taste of the wine will be so divine when I'm sharing my glass with you.